Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's KeyBank Corporate Card Training. I am your host, Gary Karak, and I am joined by Roxanne Jeffers, who will be navigating us through today's presentation. Today's topic will focus on how to create a transaction envelope. A transaction envelope is a new feature with the KeyBank Card program and is a required step in your monthly statement reconciliation. The process is completely paperless, and submission and approval are completed electronically through a workflow process. To start, you're going to navigate to the Key to Purchase website. Under normal circumstances, the graphic will be there for KeyBank, and there'll be a photo of their downtown office. Looks like they're having technical difficulties right now, but we can still log in using our username and password. And our organizational ID, which is THC for Trustees of Hamilton College. And then we would log in. Now, each time that you log in on a new device or you clear your browser history, you will be required to enter a security code. The website will walk you through how to get it, but a security code will be emailed to your Hamilton account. You can copy it and paste it in, and you'll be all set. Now, to get started, there is multiple ways to open a transaction envelope. The quickest way we found is to navigate to the right-hand side of the screen and select Create a Transaction Envelope. Now, Roxanne's view has more options than you might have, but as a supervisor, you're probably going to have multiple organizations that you can navigate through. If you review P cards and travel cards, you're going to have this option, and you would just have to select the appropriate one for your card when you're doing your own personal transaction envelope. And if you have proxy accounts, as you see below, you can select those accounts as well. However, we are just going to go ahead and select the business office card. Now, to get started on the envelope, you're going to need some personal information. So you're going to put your first and last name, and you're also going to name the envelope. We recommend using the month that the statement is for and the year. Then on to the next item is selecting the date range. We're going to use primarily the cycle. And since we're doing July, we're going to select July cycle. We're also going to select the autofill envelope option. This option is going to bring all of your transactions for that time period into your envelope automatically. So after creating the actual envelope, we'll be navigated to the transaction management screen. And the first thing you're going to see here is the cost center. Now, some of you have elected to have a default cost center. As you can see, this is the view that you're going to have. It's going to be for each transaction. So if you didn't elect for it and you only use one cost center, this is going to be a very helpful tool. If not, then you can put in whatever GL you need, or cost center, I should say. And for this particular presentation, we have some COVID cost centers that we're going to be adding. So as you can see, Roxanne is just changing it right there if you had to change it. Now on to the object code. We're going to go ahead and use our search function here. In case you don't know which object code you're looking for, we're going to do office supplies and search. And Roxanne is going to go ahead and select that, and then it gets loaded right in there. And we're also going to just put in a quick note describing what the purchase was. Okay, moving forward, Roxanne is going to finish the rest of her transactions, but while she's doing that, I'm going to point everyone's attention to the top of the screen where all the black buttons are. You got a few additional options up there. We're not going to dive into the great detail of those, but I do want to point out one, and it's the split transaction. Some employees might utilize this when splitting transactions between two GLs. There is more information in our printed instructions on our website if you're interested in that feature. Another note I do want to add is you want to use the save option at the bottom of the page as often as you can. Every time you move to another page in Key, it will erase everything that you just did. So if Roxanne moved to the next page, all of her information that she entered would be erased. So please use that save option as much as possible. Now, once we have all of our transactions completed, we have another new option, and that's to create an out-of-pocket transaction. Now, this is utilized for if you're on the road and you had to use money somewhere, your card wasn't working, you can get your reimbursement right through the KeyBank program. So to select something, you're going to go into, as Roxanne did, the create an out-of-pocket transaction option. She ate at Gary's Shake Shack and she spent $2.50 on a beverage, and then she's going to put the transaction date. One very important key about this is you need to put a transaction date that's in this period. Otherwise, it's not going to show up on your envelope. And you can go ahead and save. So now, once you save, it's going to bring you back to the transaction management screen. And if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, all the way to the right, it's going to have the yes check mark under the out-of-pocket all the way to the right. And that is your out-of-pocket reimbursement that's going to be sent through AP. Now, you do have the secondary step of coding this transaction. And as you see, Roxanne saved right away. Very good to get in the habit of saving. Okay, so since this is just a test, we're going to go ahead and show you how to delete this as well. So you go down to the transaction, select your transaction. Okay, so looking like to delete an out-of-pocket transaction, you would need to delete the envelope and start over, bring everything in, and recode that. One last item to address for transaction management before moving on to the receipt upload is any personal charges that might have accidentally made it to the card. We do have detailed instructions online on how to handle that, but if you do have questions, please reach out to Roxanne directly on those. So now we're moving into our third new feature, and this is the receipt upload. So you're going to click on receipts, and you see at the top there's going to be different files that you can upload. So Roxanne's going to, and sorry, another key point is the size of the file that you can upload at once. You can do multiple files of that maximum size, but you would need to do 2, 3. If you have 100 transactions, you might have a couple uploads. So Roxanne's going to navigate hers. Doing this online is nice. You can kind of take a look at our hierarchy tree for our folders. Our receipts are saved on our general business office drive. We break it down by year, and then by month, and then by person. And that's important in case that somebody leaves or somebody's out and we need to go back and get a receipt or something. Hamilton College still maintains access to all the receipts. Now, as you can see, Roxanne's upload is 156K, so that is much less than the max, so she's going to go ahead and upload. All right, and as you can see, up top, you have your confirmation. Now, these receipts are uploaded to your envelope at this point. So Roxanne, if you want to select on a receipt, at this point, you can delete the receipt or you can download them all for yourself if you needed to as well. But from here, you can cancel out. All right. Once you have finished submitting your receipts, you do want to hit save one last time, and you're approaching your final step. and that is to submit to the workflow. And as you see at the top, Roxanne got the green bar. That is the confirmation that you are successfully saved. There has been occasions where it does not save. You do want to make sure you have that confirmation. But now we're going to go ahead and submit to the workflow. And you do want to confirm you're submitting for approval. And just like that, it is submitted. So now it has moved from your hands, now it's in your supervisor's hands. They would go in and review. Once they're done, all the information comes to us, and any envelope that had an out-of-pocket transaction would get processed in the same week that it's getting approved, and you would get paid as you normally would through accounts payable. All right, so that brings us to a close for today. I want to thank you for joining us, and I do want to point your attention to our business office website that has these instructions in full, and also the policies and procedures with the card. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Roxanne or I. Thanks again. Goodbye.